something. So I went a little crazy and I bought like all of them. Anyways, I made it for myself and I got so many compliments on it. I thought, this has got to be a video. So this is that video. They recommend using a two-way stretch knit, such as a cotton knit, a sweater knit, or a velvet. Well, I'll take you through it step by step. Please don't be intimidated just because this pattern doesn't say easy to sew or 1, 2, 3 pieces or any of that. You can do it. I'm here to help. All right, let's get started.
Today we're going to be using our pattern, material with matching thread, a bendy ruler, our good sewing scissors, some sewing pins, an iron and ironing board, and of course our sewing machine. I've taken out my pieces from the package, and as you can see there's a lot of little creases everywhere. I think that you get a smoother cut on your fabric. Like you can tell right here where the notch is, like there's a crease right there. So even if you sit there and smooth that out, you're not going to get it perfectly smooth. So what I like to do is take my pieces right over to the ironing board and just iron my paper nice and smooth. I have my iron on the cotton setting, so it's pretty hot right now. I'm just going to very quickly run it over my pattern. And this is before you cut anything out. So you're just very quickly getting those creases out that have been left in from being folded in that package for a long time. Now it's time to figure out what size to cut out. So if you look at the back of your pattern, you have all your sizes up here, and then you have your corresponding measurements. So we're going to take our ruler, and we're going to go through and just really quickly measure everything and figure out what size we are. First things first, we're going to measure our bust. So you want to make sure you're wearing the right bra. Don't be wearing a sports bra. Wear the bra you're actually going to wear the shirt with. And you want this to be right above your chest line, if you know what I mean, right above your nipple line. And you want it to go straight all the way back, right where the top of your bra would be, like kind of top to mid bra, so that it's straight all the way. You don't want any slopes on your back. So once you have that number, we're going to drop it down and get our waist, and that's going to be just where your belly button is, your true waist, so like your high-waisted jeans, things like that, where that fits. Right across your belly button. And same thing, you don't want anything to be sloping in the back. You want to make sure that this is straight. And then for your arm, you're going to drape this over the back of your arm, pull it, grab the bottom, and then be careful not to let that go. And then you want to make sure that you get your actual arm. You want to go ahead and put your arm down so that you get your arm the biggest, not out like this, because this can be very misleading. Okay, so now that we've got our measurements, let's move on. All right, what you're seeing in front of you is all of the pieces needed to sew version A of this pattern. That is the front, the back, a sleeve, and a cuff. Laid out right now, wrong side to wrong side. You'll probably have to refold it from when you buy it in the store. They don't always fold it on the middle. You want to make sure that there's no wrinkles or creases. You might need to iron yours. I found this fabric at Joann's. I think it looks kind of Bridgerton-y, which is kind of the mood I'm in lately, so I'm going for it. With jerseys, you'll see right here how it's rolling over, and you'll see on this side how there's a lot more selvage. So we're going to make sure not to put any pattern pieces too close over here, because I might be thinking that I have enough print And then once I get it cut out, not so much. So you want to be careful of stuff like that. Okay, now that everything's nice and neat and flat, we're going to go ahead and lay our pattern pieces. Okay, we're going to start with pinning the back because that is the only piece that has to be cut on the center fold. So I just line it right up with the center fold. And what we're going to do is when you're pinning, you don't want to just like stab it. You want to be super careful not to stretch your fabric. So we're just going to go in a little bit, about 1/4 of an inch, and just pin it just so. And we're just going to put a few of these in. I did one at the bottom. I'm going to do one underneath the armhole, making sure no new creases are being created in the process. Everything's still super flat. Now we're going to come over here and do one at the shoulder. There we go. Let's see, mine even got off a little bit. All right, now we're going to repin the shoulder. Make sure you're getting both layers of fabric. So when you're cutting one, the bottom one is not going wonky. I'm going to go ahead and get the neck. And then the top. If you prefer to use weights, that's fine. It's all a preference thing. Kind of depends what I'm sewing, whether I use weights or I use pins. I like to put a few in over here just to keep everything still. And we'll do one on the bottom. Okay. I'm going to lay that down. You'll see it says front ABC, cut 2. And then your arrow is going up and down with the grain line. So that's perfect. We're just going to go ahead and lay that out right here. Again, you want to make sure that everything's staying nice and flat while you're pinning it, and that everything is staying straight. Okay, we do cut 2. And I don't think my sleeve is going to quite fit, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, and then I will pull the rest of this out and cut my sleeve. My cuff got all messed up while I was cutting those. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just unpin this and pull my fabric up. And we'll do it again. See, I have this big ball at the end of all my extra fabric. I don't like letting fabric just hang off the table while I'm cutting. It creates a tension. It kind of You'll see we did our, should I do my notches here? Oh, I didn't. Okay, do your notches. Okay, and now we're going to come back to the sleeve. And you'll see on the bottom all these pleats. What we're going to do is we're going to take a fabric marker, or if you don't have one of those, you can simply use a Sharpie or even a colored pencil. And you're just going to mark the two outside lines in the middle so that you know what to fold it to. When I'm done with this side, I'm going to have to take this piece off and put it on the other side and go ahead and mark my other sleeve as well. Okay, I'm going to flip this over. And now I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the pattern from the fabric. And again, be nice to your patterns so you can reuse them. I'm going to go ahead and lay this guy flat somewhere. We're done with him for now, unless we need him for reference later. And what we have are two front pieces. So I'm going to lay them both right side up. And what we're going to do is we're going to put them right sides together. So I'm going to go ahead and put this under the machine, and all I'm going to sew is our center front. Okay, I have this laid down, right side down on my ironing board, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this middle seam and iron it down. Okay, so I have my front laying out right here, right side up, and I'm going to go ahead and take my back piece and unpin the pattern. And we're going to lay this guy right side down so your right sides are touching. And all we're going to worry about right now is the shoulder line. We have our shoulder seams pinned together on both sides, all the way up to the top of the neck. And we're going to go ahead and sew that. And for me at least, it's very tempting to go ahead and sew the side seam. But we're not going to do that yet, because once we sew this, our shoulder seams, we're going to flip it out, and then we're going to open these seams up so things look nice and neat on the inside. We're going to come in on this curve right here, and we're going to go ahead and just ease some of that tension. And we're going to cut to the sewing line, but not past it because you don't want a hole in your garment. And just be really careful on the bottom side that no extra fabric from the actual shirt is bunched up over there. Now we're going to flip our shirt open, like such, and we're going to sew our shoulder seams open. And then if you have a hem, that's the easiest way to do this. Just go ahead and place it underneath. If you don't have a hem, you could just use a towel, old jeans rolled up, you know. Now it's time to finish off the cow neck. So what we're going to do is go ahead and throw this up on the mannequin. If you don't have a mannequin, you can do this on yourself. Just be careful not to pin yourself. Okay. Now we're going to tuck it all in. And just play with it till you're happy. You can tuck it way down if you want to. You don't have to. You can leave a lot of it out. I think I like something like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do when I'm happy with it is come in on the inside and go to my center seam right here. Make sure it's opened up. Just going to put a pin right there. And then I'm going to come on the side seams and do the same thing. The sleeve to the bodice, as well as some pleating and putting on the cuff.
my channel on YouTube. Let's talk through fashion. All right.